So today's review is going to be on IG versus WE Game 1. I've already watched the game, so I'm pretty much going to go over some main points to kind of digest what actually happened between these two teams. If you look at the comps, they're very competing. I mean, you're not looking at one or the other and you're saying, wow, this is just a slam dunk, like these guys are just gonna win, you know? Of course, you look at Ezreal, Nico, yes, like that's a winning bot lane. It's a lane that Kai'Sa and Rakan can kill them, but if the other side, the red side, plays well enough in the beginning of the game, like especially the opening stage, yeah, like it's gonna be hard. Gwen versus Jax, it really depends. Jax can get a lead in the beginning, and then over time, like it can go over into Gwen. It can be very jungle. How do you say it? Jungle can kind of tip the scales quite a bit in this head-to-head matchup. And for mid lane, it's Taliyah versus Orianna. Like, I don't know what else to say. It's Taliyah versus Orianna. So, as I hit play, and we go through this, the beginning of the game, you're going to see both the junglers are going to be pathing away from each other. So, you have the Wukong pathing to bot for the lane that he knows is going to be working, the Ezreal Nico. And then the Poppy's going for the Jax, who, can get pushed versus the Gwen and look for a lead. Now, the way this is going to play out is I'm going to fast forward a little bit, and you're going to notice that the Jax gets very good trades off. The wave bounces, and it's actually pulling out, and he has a very solid lead. You look in the bot lane, and it's not like the exact same thing. It's the wave is not necessarily pulling out that puts like Gala and like Rakan in danger. It's more so that these guys are, as the league players would say, humping them. Like they are on top of them, throwing spells and making you having to preserve HP but drop CS. So those are like the two contrasting like situations happening. And the Gwen can't really do too much, unfortunately, because during that time, like the Poppy was like clearing up. So like she can't really go for some of the risky trades even though she has Ignite. So then these guys swap. And they're basically swapping mostly because of this situation in bot lane. So I should change to yellow. So they're swapping because of the bot lane. 100%. Like, because the Jax is doing great, And then both teams are in positions to actually go for a swap. So at this point, like, they're just going to send it, Like, yeah, these guys can go top, but these guys are going to send it top first. And that's going to be like not the most ideal situation for WE, and you're gonna see why. Because they're gonna get to the wave, they spot the Gwen now knows that like what's happening, right? They start the dragon, and in typical senses, this would work. Like you would do the drag because the enemy duo is topside, so you get the drag, and you're like, okay, maybe my Gwen's gonna get screwed a little bit, but at least I get a dragon. Well, Wei does wolves, and then decides, you know what? We know they're doing this. The Rakan is mid, and more especially that they know that the Nico is bot lane. The Nico did not stay around mid, and so what you're going to see happen... Oh, so I don't like that. That switched off 1080. What you're going to see happen is that the Ori actually gets shoved out thanks to the Rakan showing up, and now they can lean in and stop this Dragon Pull, which honestly does suck a lot for Wukong because it's like, well, that was going to be my advantage in this situation. And now the Rakan is back top, and the Gwen's like, well, I can't do anything. And if you look at the CS difference, it's massive. Like, the Jax is actually, like, able to farm a little bit, get more XP. So, like, he's pulling ahead in this situation. And then it gets better, because then you're going to see the Poppy, after she finishes her camps, she steers into the Raptors. The Wukong is going for the crab instead of looking to dive bot. Now, can they dive bot? I'm not sure. Like, it is a Jax. He has R, he has E, he has Flash, and the only CC you have is basically Nico E. So it's not easy. Like, they would need mid. It's not easy. So they're not playing through mid to get something going. They can't dive bot. So the only play now is, like, either doing this, or you're matching up here and you're having your Nico base, so him base, which is, like, not the worst, but the problem is, like, the Ezreal, like, it's just going to be even farm versus them. And I don't think the Gwen Nico is really an improvement to the situation top, but like they need to do something to like change it up, because if they don't, they're just gonna kind of lose the early game straight up, and that is what is happening. And so WE takes like what's happening, and like, we're gonna dive top. Like, we have Poppy for wallbang, we have Rakan follow up, we have, and she doesn't have flash, and we have Talia who can R up first, and they get a kill, and it's massive. Now, this is where this next play is critical, because this is why the game becomes really awkward, and all the good things that IG was doing in the early game, like, completely falls apart. And it's actually him staying here. So, right now, his bot lane, what's the base? Like, look at the Kai'Sa's HP. She's at 10%. The Rakan has TP, by the way. Like, if they really wanted to, Rakan could TP, but, like, these guys are, like... And maybe they actually could shove out with Rakan being here, perhaps, though the Wu will hit 6. The Poppy would have to come bot still. But let's say he actually hits base. He gives this wave up, and he just bases. You know what happens? She bases. He bases. He has full conditions. He walks straight back bot. They walk straight back top. And they're chilling. Because the Poppy's going to base and clear up. They're going to establish control here where they already have good vision. And the Jax is full HP. And the Gwen, well, unless these guys are going back bot lane, and they're going to give up grubs, and then they're going to dive top again and take the full turret with grubs, like, they have to match. Like, these guys must match. And so they just get one more plate. That's basically all they get. If he bases. Instead, being in the typical set, like, way that the Shy is, he puts himself in a position where he can die, and since Wukong finished the drag, he hits level 6. So he dies. Now, at first you're thinking, well, I mean, so they used a lot. They used Wukong Flash R, you know, you don't have that for the grubs. But why it becomes bad is that IG, they either have to decide to sack something, or they're going to try their best to line their lanes to not drop any farm. And they choose to align their lanes to not drop any farm. So look, now that the Talia, like, she's gonna get the mid wave. Okay, who's gonna get the top wave? I guess Talia have to get the top wave. Oh, who's gonna get the bot wave though? Oh, I guess my dual lane needs to go bot and get that wave. Okay, now we're playing away from grubs. Oh, but who's gonna get mid wave? Oh shit, well, it's my Jax. Like, and if Kai'Sa doesn't go mid, like, because she could go mid on this server, she's the one who's collecting this wave right now. And the Jax is the one who's put into bot. So they delay it. And so now, okay, now we're getting the right matchups. Now the Jax is going bot. Now the Kai'Sa's going mid. But what's happening? They're not dropping the wave, but these guys get a free push over them in all positions. And that's not great. Like, that feels really bad. So that sucks. Keep it playing. Okay, now my Poppy's here. Well, my Poppy wants to do her top camps. At the same time, my Poppy also wants to cross map, because if we can't fight for this, then I want to get his camps. But I can't do that, because if I leave top and they do grubs, they can play for my camps, and he never has to go bot. So now it becomes this awful situation for IG, where like, okay, well, we should play on mid. Oh, but shit, Nico's level 6, Rakan's level 5. We kind of need the XP from midwave. Oh shit, they can fight us on midwave because of that level difference. And that's what they do. They go on them. Gala loses barrier, he loses his ulti. Can't do anything. And they lost all 3 grubs. The only upside is that the Jax got some value on... Well, actually, he didn't even get value on bot. Like, he was, like, fist fighting, like, the Gwen. And the Gwen actually won out on the trade. But he does get CS still. And then iG's like, okay, well, maybe we're going to go through bot and, you know, kind of help the Jax. Because for some odd reason, the Shy wants to stay and get farm. So he puts some vision on bot. Our Talia keeps TP and goes top because if they want to play for drag, they want to cross map with the TP. So that's what they're doing. Talia's top. The Jax can TP bot. Okay, that's fine. Poppy gets her buy. Now here's the thing. This is where you're going to notice that Monkey. I don't know if that was a Monkey. However you say it. The Wukong. He gets Triforce. And so this is going to be a big thing that happens now is he has Triforce. What should he do? Fight. Like, you know this guy's not going to have item over you. And his bot lane is, like, in mid lane, is, like, winning the entire time. Like, they have full control to go anywhere. And so what should he do? He should go through mid. Especially if Dragon's coming up. Screw it. Go through mid. I know your top camps are spawning, but just go through mid. Not a big deal. He doesn't. He goes top, and he starts doing his Krugs. Then this leads to Jax doing a perfectly timed, like, all-in play that gets Gwen to half HP. And here's the thing, if you look at what they're doing, they're leaning towards top. So, like, to me, it's like they're already saying we're not going to fight drag. But I'm trying to think, why is that? Like, is it because the Kai'Sa's going to get her item? But the Wukong has his item. Like, is that not, like, good enough? Like, we definitely should be going through mid at the very least as Wukong to kind of, like, go where we need to go. And so they left themselves exposed. You know, they get a nice solid pick like this. And it's like, okay, now my Jackson farmed, like, the bot plates. This is really, really good for IG. Like, super, super good. But then it's going to turn around on its head again because they're going to approach the map and they're going to say, we want to fight the drag. Now, the Jax does have Triforce. That is a good thing, you know? And actually, it's going to end up becoming pretty good because Ezreal has no mana. They know this. And they actually are able to get a Poppy art onto the Nico, so there's no big engage, right? And so it looks good. Like, at this point, it looks really, really good. Like, W is almost trying to, like, just rush it out of the whim, and they interrupted it. Why on earth does Wei E backwards away like he's gonna run away from this fight when they have two people? Well, they have one here, and they have a guy up here. They literally have two people, and they have three. I mean, they have four, honestly. They have four people. So they have a 4v2 on the bot side. This guy doesn't count because he's not going to do anything with the mana he has. So he's basically a dead player. And they have 1-1. Explain that to me. How does Wei not see that? They have flash on Rakan. They have flash on Kai'Sa. They have flash on Poppy. They have flash on Jax. Like, what am I missing? Like, Cube literally does not have flash, and they do not go on it. He E's away, and he's, like, running away from the fight. And I'm like, what the hell is he doing? And so this ends up becoming a shit fight, which shouldn't turn this way, and it's a 2-for-2. Like, how does that turn into a 2v2? Because Wei just, like, lost his, like, pearls or something. I don't know. He's just, like, clutching his pearls. Like, oh my god, I'm so scared. We need to take this and get out. But, like, you're good. Like, you're really, really good for this situation. So that was pretty rough to see, you know? Like, that was not ideal. So you progress this, and it's like, okay, why does my Rakan lean into the bot side? Because if you feel like you can't fight the Herald, which I don't know, it's telling them that they can't fight it per se. I mean, like, the only thing they have to be worried about, I guess, at this point is that the Gwen TP is going to come up. And so, like, if I look at how this was, like, it looks like Jax could have ran bot with the TP coming up, which would have just been better, straight up. Like, he's dead for 10, but the Taliyah probably should just run top. Or run through mid, even. With the Rakan, get vision, and they actually could play for Herald. 100%. Like, if you imagine it, the Taliyah's moving this way with the Rakan, you get the vision, the Taliyah goes up here, the Jax is down here, his TP comes back up, he can win against the Gwen because he has Triforce and she has nothing. Does that not just sound a billion times better than what they're doing now? Yeah, it does. The Gwen has TP, by the way. Taliyah doesn't. My Rakan should be thinking, holy shit, they can, like, attack our top jungle because of this. What does he do? He leans to the bot side. And I don't really get that. This guy ends up getting outplayed and killed by Rookie, which is amazing. And then they, for some odd reason, engage on them and lose a bunch of their health. And it just doesn't make any sense at all. Like, when I'm, like, observing this game, I'm honest, like, I really am trying to figure out, what are you doing? And so they get this pick, and it's like, cool, we got this pick, like, we got this, sorry, not pick, we got this Herald. For how everything turned out, they burned a bunch of ultis, right, to try to kill us. They didn't kill us. A miracle. Taliyah knows she's isolated. The Poppy doesn't want to stick around. She needs the base. And yet she tries to catch the wave high, kills herself. Oh shit, that's really bad because in a minute 30, Dragon's coming up. I don't have flash now, so now that becomes a little of an issue. Then we go all in, trying to, like, fish for sums or something on mid. It's not the worst because they got cleanse and heal. And then my next issue becomes this. if you want to fight for this drag, the Taliyah TP is coming up soon. You have 40 seconds on drag. Do another wave top, man. Like, what are we doing? Like, this is not the wave you're playing on. This wave is already dead. It's over. You could actually wait a little bit too, because the Ezreal's mana is kind of low again. And so they don't do that. Like, they decide to rush on this wave to try to make a play, and it doesn't work. Like, watch. Like, they start hitting, and I get it. Like, you know, they're pushing up a little bit far. Like, you don't really want to get, like, you kind of want to defend this. Yeah, probably Poppy should be here. But the Taliyah uses her ulti and timer to move this way. You don't get anything. And now the Taliyah is pushing top. You still lose the mid turret. You pop Herald, you lose the bot turret. These guys, of course, need to base respawn the top. They almost get it, but then for some odd reason, it says slamming it and leaving. They don't. They extend, and then they kill themselves. They burn more of their CDs. We lose the dragon, and it's like, what? Like, why are we playing this way? And so, like, this is the thing when you watch LPL like teams, like, this is definitely why AL is as good as they are. You know, I mean, they're as good as they are because they do a lot of good self-studying to really make sure to, like, project, like, equalize the opponents, strong opponents who are actually making the right plays and theorizing to themselves, well, if they do this play, you know, this actually is awful by us to do what we did. So we should correct what we're doing now and assume they're going to do something better, right? And you look at, because, like, if you look at this game, and if you just try to take the game away as, like, well, this team won, but there were so many mistakes. There were so many issues that just got away because someone was just doing something stupid. And I'm pretty much just saying it just because, like, when you watch LPL teams, like I said, like, it can be a little bit jarring in a way. Like, yeah, there's a lot more, like, bloodiness, fights happening, stuff like that. But, like, some of these picks are just kind of, like, boneheaded deaths, you know? And so this timer here by IG is really odd in some ways, because if you're going to notice is they're going to drop mid-wave. Like, he's going to collect the wave low, Kai'Sa. He's going to shift over. So low means, like, you catch it, like, closer to your turret. High means you're catching it, like, further up here, you know? And so he's catching it low and shifting over. So now they have 4 people here. This is completely exposed. And so they could just run it down at that point. Like, they could run it down in clear vision, and it's really not that bad. But for whatever the case is, they don't do that. Like, they kind of, like, lean towards trying to cut off mid. They don't sit in those positions. And then they don't move down to clear anything in the bot. And so they just lose the Otacon. And at first it's like, okay, but honestly, if you're basing or you're going to red as Wukong, you're clearly giving this up. Because you're just not going to be there, right? Like you have no vision on it. Like, of course it's gone. So then why is he not taking any of the top jungle? Like, there's no cross-mapping happening. Like, it's like you're giving up Otacon, and then you're still running at it, so you can't even trade. That made no sense. The game continues. So now, like, the Rakan's gain vision. Okay. The Taliyah's gain push. Okay. You know, they're leaning up because, like, the top tier 2 is, like, kind of low. We clean it. WE doesn't even bother with this situation. You know, they're pretty much just eyeing the mid turret. So they're like, they know this is probably happening, the lean, and they're accepting it. But where's my Wukong? He's on the Wolves. Like, he's not even playing with his team. Like, he's literally farming. Imagine if Wukong is positioning himself in this area to at least help zone and, like, strengthen your position for this play. They could do that. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't like the idea of going 5-man mid while dropping both sides. That's pretty awful. Like, ideally, this should not be happening the way they have it, because this guy shoved this wave. They need to kind of play on another wave. They first group on mid to get this. Then they should go into bot and stop this next, like, wave that Jax is taking. They actually could, like, collapse on him, which is not bad. But they go all in on mid. But if you're going to go all in on mid, at least have your Wukong there. He's not there. So now this leads to a flank play by IG. And if you watch it, it's, like, a little messy in some ways, but, like, in the end of the day, they got full sums on the Ezreal, which is massive. Like, You got sums on the Orianna. Like, you got the Gwen TP. Like, you got a lot of good, like, spells for committing to that play. And so they get the drag. And these guys kind of just stare at them, and they lose the drag. And they got literally nothing else out of this. So, okay, W just wasted a bunch of time. That wasn't very good. We kind of just randomly threw Taliyah wall at them and tried to catch them. And then W thought, oh shit, like, they're out of position. We can go for this. But no one is close to hit. So, like, the play looks good. Like, you know, it looks good, question mark. But where are your carries? They're nowhere in sight. They're all, like, up here. So this play is bad. And yeah, I mean, like, the Kai'Sa is completely untouched, and she can just ram it in. Poppy dies to an Ezreal. Okay. Happens. The game goes on. So they clear vision for the Taliyah. Okay. It's not bad. Clearing more vision. Still not the worst. And this is actually a little interesting here because so the Shy can go mid or he can go bot. In fact, he already could have pushed out bot, but like they don't have an exact idea on where everyone is yet. So outside of like, oh, Ezreal's showing and like the Nico's here, right? So like W is just like stacking mid. I love that they have it doing it this way because if you look here, the Gwen pushes this and then she doesn't touch the wave. Why is she not touching the wave? I don't know. For whatever the reason is, he just feels unsafe to do this next wave. So this gives Taliyah a free push. And then it goes to Rookie's mind. He's waiting a little bit and he's like, he's still not here. Okay, so I get another push. And so this is like the tell because if Jax went down here, he would have to TP in this situation. But he registers that because Rookie actually gets another push, Rookie can quickly jump this way. And again, they have another good flank situation going for a Taliyah Jax combo, which is good. That's how they win the game. And so they overextend, and W is not even thinking about this problem. And now here's the Shy. And while there's a lot of damage coming out, they are actually able to finish this out. And they get a whole bunch of picks. So they got a whole bunch of gold on their carries, and they take the Baron. Amazing. Okay. We have a Baron on 3 people. Life is good. We go straight into a fight, which I mean, like, it didn't show too much of it, but they went straight into a fight and led to some picks. It's a little messy, and it should never go that way. To be honest, like there shouldn't be like a messy fight happening, though. In the end of the day, they did kill 4 people, but with proper setup, they should be able to get an actual inhib for what their comp is. Regardless, they get a drag. Like, and this is all on a blue contest, you know. Like they're here to fight the blue. The Kai'Sa's not here yet. This guy starts eating shit, eating a lot of shit. And the rest of the guys clean up because they spent so many spells on them, right? But it just didn't have to happen that way. Like, it really did not need to happen that way. So, Rookie's doing a great job in this game. Overall, I would say Rookie's definitely doing a really good job in this game. And him and the Shy especially are working well together. And I've seen this comp played in like various Korean teams. And yeah, Taliyah Jax, when you do it right, it wasn't even Korean teams. It was actually Vikla. Vikla was playing this on his team, this iteration of like a... Well, Vikla is actually back in Korea now, isn't he? So it was Korean teams. Vikla and I can't remember who his top laner was. Playing Jax Taliyah, and it worked out super well. Because he cut them off with Taliyah, and you have nowhere to go, while the Jax can also just avoid damage with the Z. And it's very obnoxious. Very, very, very obnoxious. But I digress. Not a lot happens besides the fact that like these guys are kind of cutting them off and they're looking for ways to engage, and they're doing it through mid lane. And that leads to them to trying to pull the Baron, which becomes a little awkward because there's still a lot of damage on WE, and the shockwave ends up just kind of ripping through 2 of them, and they really can't do anything about it. Yeah, they kind of die, and you're thinking like, well, shit, that's not good. Except the rookie starts just like kind of blasting the Orianna, and they start going all in for the drag. They're like, oh my god, can't give the drag, need to take it. And they kind of ends up unfortunately ending up being not the best. Poppy R was so good. Because they didn't really think about, like, we need to get out. And because they committed so hard to this, like, now they're, like, kind of in poor positions where it's like, there's 2 people above, there's someone from below, there's someone from here. Like, you don't really know what to do. And that play ends up kind of losing them the game, and that's it. And so to me, it's like, the MVP of this game, of course, is Rookie. Like, he was just a phenomenal player in this game. The worst player of this game is honestly probably... I mean, Cube was not good, but neither was, like, Monkey. Like, both these guys did not do well at all. And the main thing you can take away from watching this game is just, this is a great game to watch in terms of just seeing how these, like, little mistakes and, like, also just what happens when you just don't play discipline can just snowball and, like, really stop your momentum, especially. Because in multiple situations, IG had a firm grasp of the game. They get at something, maybe they get the Herald, you know, and then all of a sudden, Rookie's dead. We have a good swap. We're in position to play for the grubs and have tempo and have gold over them. The Shy dies. We have a Baron power play. We can literally push out and get an inhib guaranteed on this Baron power play. Way kills himself. Like, there's just something happening that's just, if they can clean that up, get rid of that, sweep it away, they'll actually look like a good team. But until they do that, these kinds of mistakes just are just going to happen. And it's just like how BLG is. Like, to be honest, like, you have like some stud-ass players here. Like I said, you have the Shy, Rookie, and Gala, and Maiko, right? But the thing is, BLG has stud players as well, but like their macro and some of their decision-making is just god-awful. And so, like, you have to get past that. If you can't get past that, you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to win Worlds, ever. Like, you just won't. Not in this day and age. Maybe in, like, previous seasons, that could be a thing. And it kind of was a little bit. But in this current format, like, no. You can't do it. Like, you need to play well, and you need to make good decisions. If you can't do both, you're not going to win. It is what it is. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. This, like I said, this has just been one of those VODs where, like I said, I watch ahead of time, and I can kind of go over all the points without like really trying to like spend too much time breaking things down in terms of like discovering what you think should be happening. It's more so just explaining what's happening. Thanks for watching.